If you're listening to this while doing something for someone else, folding laundry, making food, checking in on someone, just holding it all together, this episode is for you. Welcome to the SheSacral podcast, where we focus all on how burnout impacts women's bodies. If you're new, hello, I am your host, Lindsey Christian, holistic hormone coach and burnout recovery guide for women. So if you've ever felt like you're always the one holding space, solving problems, regulating emotions, making things okay for everyone else, today we are actually going to name something that often goes unspoken for many reasons, and that is care fatigue. It's real, it's heavy, and it is actually not your fault. So today we'll talk about what care fatigue actually is, how to recognize the signs, and why feeling this way doesn't mean something is wrong with you, because I know the feelings you're having, whether that's guilt or resentment or frustration or even grief. It means your body has been carrying more than it has to give. So let's go ahead and define care fatigue. Care fatigue is not just physical exhaustion. It is a type of burnout that is unlike any other. It's not the kind of tired that you can fix with sleep. Care fatigue goes so deeply. It is emotional depletion. It is energetic depletion. It's a quiet, ongoing drain that comes from being responsible for others' comfort, emotions, and stability for a very long time. It can look like being the emotional anchor in your family, or the one people lean on when things fall apart, or the one who notices everyone else's mood before your own. And the hardest part is that it's usually invisible. You might still function, you might still show up, you might still continue to handle things, but inside you can feel flat, disconnected, and empty in a way that rest cannot even cure. This is why care fatigue is so different from traditional burnout, because burnout is often about, hey, you're expending a lot of energy more than you have with doing a lot of tasks and overworking. But care fatigue is when the heart is exhausted. It happens when that love that we have so much for the people and beings, even if it's a pet, yes, for some of us, pet parents, it can impact us that way too. But when love turns into labor and no one even notices that you're tired. And if this is landing for you right now and you feel like your body is failing, we're going to get a deeper understanding as to really see how much your body is responding very intelligently to an unsustainable load. So let's talk about some of those common signs that you are experiencing care fatigue. Care fatigue doesn't always show up loudly or in a bold way. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it's a little more subtle, but you still notice it. So you might notice that you feel irritable over small things. You might feel emotionally numb or even withdrawal from those that you love. You may have this deep desire to be alone, not because you don't care, but because you feel empty. You might feel unappreciated or invisible, even though you are doing so much. It's kind of like you're in the middle of this room and there's so much chaos around you, and there's, I need this, I need that, there's crying, there's, it doesn't even matter, even if someone is not even in your physical space, but you know that someone that you love is suffering even from a distance. You can still emotionally be there for them, constantly researching things for them, trying to take the load off of their plate because you care, right? And there's just so much happening all at once. It's almost like you're in the middle of this cyclone. And even though the cyclone is throwing everything together, you keep putting everything back in its place, so no one actually ever sees the cyclone. You might even fantasize about disappearing for a while and just running away, not in a dramatic way, just wanting no one to really need you. You might feel resentment or even anger towards people or those that you love very deeply, and then feel guilty for feeling that resentment, right? You might struggle to ask for help or even know, hey, what kind of help do I even ask for? And often there's this internal rule that we can carry within ourselves, which is, I can't fall apart. I'm the strong one. Care fatigue is especially common for women who are mothers, the firstborn daughters, empaths, healers, longtime caregivers. Ooh, if this resonates, it does not mean you're ungrateful or broken. It means your nervous system has just been in that constant output and having to be emotionally attuned for too long. So, why does care fatigue show up so intensely, especially for women? Part of it is conditioning. Many of us were taught that our value comes from being nurturing and accommodating and always emotionally available, that being good means being selfless, and even wanting to prioritize yourself can trigger this deep feeling of selfishness. But it doesn't even feel like selfish. Like, there's just been so much conditioning to where if you feel like a selfish person, you literally feel like an evil person. You feel like a heartless person. And maybe at some point, someone left you behind and you have vowed to never, ever be that person to anything or anyone else. So for some, care fatigue is also tied to trauma responses like fawning or people pleasing, where safety or love was earned through what we've done for others. You may have learned early on that being needed kept you connected, that taking care of others helped you belong, and that your needs were not a priority or unsafe to really express. So if you didn't see healthy boundaries growing up, or if you became emotionally responsible at a really young age, having to take care of your parents when you really weren't equipped to do that, right? Oh my goodness, our brains are not even fully developed until we're in our mid-20s. So that leaves a big, strong imprint on our brains and our minds and our identity, because that's how we've grown up to navigate through life. I've also learned early on that being needed also kept you connected, that taking care of others helped you belong, or that your needs were secondary or unsafe to express. So if you were the one that kept that stability before you were supported, your nervous system has adapted. And in many cultures, there's an added expectation to be strong, to carry the family, to hold everything together and to not complain about it. None of this means that you chose care fatigue. And that's the part that is so frustrating for many. It means that your body learned survival strategies that protected you, but now just need a little updating. So if you just take a brief moment, just to pause, hold your hand over your heart, take a deep breath in and release. And just repeat to yourself or just listen to these words. I am worthy of being prioritized, and I do not have to earn love through exhaustion. What does healing look like when you are experiencing so much care fatigue? Healing from care fatigue doesn't start with doing more. It actually starts with softening the load of what you're carrying. Recognize in yourself, and what I do for me personally is I tune in with my body. The body is such a powerful compass that we have not learned to use the right way. Your body is a powerful, powerful compass, and it is so responsive to your feelings. And it knows when you are carrying too much. So when you feel the weight on your shoulders, when you feel your jaw is clenching, when you feel all of these things impacting you and just feel that tightness and that heaviness in your body, that is your body signaling to you, we are holding too much. We're carrying too much. We need relief. We need space. So just take that moment to be honest. What is too much for you right now? What is too much for you right now? Maybe that's even expectations that we're putting on ourselves to still show up a certain way, even while caring for others. Next is to take those pauses, even if you have to go run to the bathroom and just hide and just play a game on your phone or just breathe, just something, just to create a little space. Take the pressure off of having to solve right now. And then last is to prepare for your future self as much as you can, even if it's just the slightest thing. It's just a little bit extra to make the next day easier for you. That can look like preparing a meal early, setting out the food early, even if you don't cook it right away, prepping the food a little earlier just in case, making up your bed, setting your clothes out the night before. Whatever it is that's going to give you just a little extra breath for the next day is huge. So that's always something that's helped me as well. So for many women, the hardest part of really healing care fatigue isn't understanding it and hashing it out. It's actually giving yourself permission to be a priority again, or maybe for the first time in your life. I've spoken to so many women that have never gotten the opportunity to ever feel like a priority. And that's why I created the Pleasure Wire. It is a system that helps your body actually recover from burnout, but it is also a private community where you can exhale. There's no judgment. Every woman in this space actually gets it. So it is here to fully support you with nourishment that works for a body that is in burnout, because I've not been able to find anything else to support my body under chronic stress. Gentle practices and movements, as well as education to learn how to care for your body in this state. So if care fatigue has resonated with you today, this is a sign that you don't have to hold it all together anymore. And if you feel that quiet, yes, I need this, then you can join us inside the Pleasure Wire. The link is down below. So now if you've made it this far, I want to leave you with this. I know that the care that you give for others is so beautiful, and your capacity to love is not the problem. But the problem is pouring from a cup that has not been refilled yet. Care fatigue is not failure, it's a signal that it is time to come home to yourself. So I'm going to leave you with a little prompt for the end of the day, which is, where in my life do I feel over responsible for others' well-being? Now, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because up next, we're going to learn the big difference between caretaking and caregiving and what each one looks like, because there actually is a difference, and that can actually help you to figure out how your energy is either being restored or depleted through caring. Thank yourself so much for showing up today. This is SheSacral Podcast.